If you're just starting to draw, forget about being perfect. Today, I'm going to show you 10 simple types of line that can add texture, motion, and movement to your sketches, even if you've never picked up a pencil before. Hi, my name is Brenda. Welcome back, or welcome if this is your first time here. Today's video is for beginner artists who want to learn how to draw with more confidence. I'll be going over the various types of line that you can use when starting out and how to put these into practice. So the type of line that you choose when drawing can create all sorts of different effects, like from form, texture, shadow, and like you can even capture emotion with them depending if you're using like scribbling, or which is be a more loose and spontaneous way of drawing, or stippling, which is dots. I'll go over these now in a second. They would be more kind of slow and meditative. Drawing really is just mark making, and mark making is powerful, like no matter how simple the drawing is. I'll just go over what I'm using here today. I have a set of pencils. I just bought them on Amazon. There's 12 pencils in here, and they're from 9B, 8B, 7B, right down to a B pencil, F, and I think there's a H in there as well. Really dark drawings with the 9Bs. Just show you there. The 9B is quite dark. And then your H here is quite light. So that'll give you a good variety. So it's a great starter kit. I'm also using some Winsor & Newton fine liners, and they're in various sizes. The sizes are on the tops of the pens there. So I have a 0.1, a 0.3, and a 0.8. And these give different types of dots and lines as well. And then just your erasers, whatever you have, like putty rubber and just a regular eraser there. So I'm going to get to it and explain about the different types of lines that you can use in drawings. So this first one here is just your outlines, like they're straight lines and they really just define your contours. You've got solid lines here. In the background of this square here, you can see I've put in some dash lines, and that's to indicate that it's an actual cube there. So that's another way of using line. You can use line with dotted lines. I used one of the markers here to do that. Curved lines, they're another type of outline that you can use depending on what you're drawing. I mean, if you're drawing a cup like this, you're obviously going to be doing curved lines for that. Whereas if you were drawing something like, we'll say the outside of this, it's more straight and, well, I suppose there's curved edges there, but you'd be using more the solid outline there for that. You can use wavy lines, spirals, and then there's various different types of ways that you can suggest, say, form, texture, and shadow in a drawing as well. And this would be like through hatching or cross-hatching. So hatching basically is parallel lines to create shadow and depth. It all depends on how far apart your lines are. If they're getting closer together, it suggests more of a darker area in a drawing. The direction is usually, for hatching, you usually just go in the one direction, and it very much depends on how much pressure you use as well. So you could use very light pressure and then much heavier pressure to indicate shadow and form. Then we have our cross-hatching. So these are intersecting parallel lines. They're usually drawn at an angle to each other, so lines in this direction, and then you're going with your lines in that direction then afterwards. The next type of line that we have is contour hatching. This would be more to indicate curved lines or a curved shape like an apple or an orange, or if you were trying to describe the contours of the face. For beginners now, we'll be starting with simpler subjects, but you can always sketch some guidelines first. Like, so I drew my circle here first before I put in my contour lines to suggest where the form was in that shape. Another type we have is stippling. These are just like dots, and it depends how close you put those together to suggest form or texture. Shadow and texture with small ink dots and different pressure and distances will create different effects as well. This can be really slow and meditative. It's a lovely way of drawing. I will be showing you some samples of all of these next. Another type of line would be scribbling. And again, it's quick, it's disorderly, loose and spontaneous. So it depends very much on the type of sketcher that you are. So I've done some simple drawings here just to illustrate how you could use those different types of lines. So this is an outline, and I've just outlined. I actually used this pencil holder just to demonstrate what I mean by this. So this here is just an outline and it's suggesting the form. So it's just the outline of the actual cup to suggest what it actually is. You can combine different ways of drawing as well. So you can use outline with hatching. So there's outline and hatching used in this one. And again, the hatching there on the inside just illustrates that there's some shadow or there's a darker area on the cup, as you'll see if you tilt it forward. This one then, I just did it in the dots. Again, that you can kind of see the inside of the cup here, and the outline then just to illustrate some shadow there at the side, and I just dotted along the edges there to illustrate the form of the whole thing again. So that's the stippling. Again, we have our outline here. So we're combining two different types, outline, and this one here is cross hatching. And that then suggests the shadow at the base of the cup. For this one, I used some contour lines. And then just for the inside, I used cross hatching there again. And you can see that I used the cross hatching closer and closer together as I was coming near the base here, just to suggest that there could be some liquid in the cup, like if it was a cup of tea, that that the tea represents a different form than the actual cup there at the background. So that's different ways that you can use cross hatching to define darker areas or form. And our contour lines here very much outline the cup and give it that curved kind of shape. This one is just using scribbles, and I used a pen. You can use a regular ballpoint pen. I love using that. You can use pencils. I went through the various different types of drawing materials that you can use and the various surfaces that you can use to draw on, and I'll put a link in the description below just for that particular video so you can take a look at it. So there you have it. That's just the 10 different types of line that you can use in drawing. I'll just go over them again there. The solid lines, dashed lines, dotted lines, curved, wavy spirals, and then into your hatching, cross hatching, contour hatching, stippling and scribbling. And if you're just starting out, remember, it's not about getting it perfect. It's just about showing up. It's about playing, trusting your hand to kind of explore different techniques. If you found this video helpful, I'd love if you could give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more beginner-friendly art tutorials. If you're curious about colour and want to feel more confident choosing your palette, you can grab my free colour guide and video. The link's down below. Thanks for watching. Happy drawing, and I'll see you in the next video.